Welcome back to the Clever Report. Brutal racial honesty is going around. From the death of the 23-year-old Ukrainian girl that was murdered by 34-year-old Carlos Brown Jr. Irina Zareska was just on the train in Charlotte, North Carolina, and this repeat offender gruesomely murdered her, stabbed her twice on the throat. We can't show the video because of how graphic it is. But this repeat offender murdered this innocent Ukrainian girl in cold blood, and people were around, people were filming, people were interested in filming the dying girl. And from the video, you could see that she was surprised. She was surprised and shocked, and she in her last moment she was alone. The picture and the images around the world is just making me sick to my stomach. It's making me sick that these kind of things happen and people find a way to try to politicize it. People cannot tell me it's not about race. It's a problem. There's a problem in the black community. There's a problem amongst black men. There's a reason why 5% of the population, that is black men, commit over 50% of the violent crimes. It is not rocket science. It's not racism. But words talk, numbers scream. So this girl lost her life just because of the woke policies of a certain judge, or democratic woke policies. This person has been arrested for violence offenses 14 times, and he's been let out on the street. And it's reported that the judge that granted him cashless bail, Teresa Stokes, is allegedly not even qualified to be a lawyer. This is what happens. And there are a few statistics I want to tell you. A white person is 30 times more likely to be killed by a black person than the black person is more likely to be killed by a white person. This is crazy. Now, and in 2019, there were about 560,000 violent interracial incidents between whites and blacks. 470,000 out of those incidences were black people, violently attacking white people. And then this is just like 85% of these violent crimes. It doesn't make any sense. Now, discriminating based on racial skin color is immoral, but trying to be safe because of a certain fact and a reputation and a pattern and a stereotype is not racism. It is everybody now. I generally think white people in the United States, and this is making them more radical. I'm even black. I'm not even a citizen of the United States, but I'm angered. I share the same skin color with this brutal criminal, this violent criminal. And people try to, say that we are just being racist because we are noticing a certain pattern amongst black people. No. There is no fathers at home. They are being raised by single mothers. This is a recipe for disaster. They are making people racist just in front of our eyes. And people trying to compare the death of this innocent Ukrainian girl with that of a felon that was arrested or was being resisting arrest when he was, unalived by Derek Chauvin. It is said that, reported factually, that the fentanyl in his body could kill 2 horses. So you cannot tell me this is the same. If it was the other way around, the cities would have been burning now. Cities would have been burnt down. And there's a clip of Abby Phillips and Jones on CNN trying to find a way to belittle what happened. It is crazy. I want us to watch the clip, and I'll give you my take on that.
When you are mentally ill, you have a hard time knowing that you are mentally ill. But also, people like Charlie Kirk, Van, they've been looking for opportunities to make this some sort of like reciprocal George Floyd situation. And that's the part that I think he's almost giving away the game. And it's sad to see a lot of people going along with it.
Let me just say a couple of things. One is, what happened to that young woman was horrible. And it's everybody's nightmare. If you're in any public space, subway, whatever, that something bad is going to happen to you or somebody you care about. So it does strike a chord. We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering, hate mongering. It's wrong. Then he says that if something like that had happened the other way, there would be sweeping changes imposed on society. Where is the George Floyd Policing Act? It didn't pass. Even when you had a white police officer murder a black man on live television, the whole world saw, there were no sweeping changes. In fact, not one law was passed at the federal level. So I think that's an important thing to point out. The other thing is, you mentioned the thing about cashless bail. I think this is a big challenge that we have. Would you have felt better if there had been cash bail? and the mom had come and put down $1,000 to let him out. It's not about cashless bail or no cashless bail. It's about the fact that we don't know how to deal with people who are hurting in the way this man was hurting. Hurt people hurt people. What happened was horrible, but it becomes an opportunity for people to jump on bandwagons. And then for someone like Charlie Kirk, he should be ashamed of himself. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him. What people mention is the horror of what happened to this young woman.
This is my problem. This is why CNN's ratings are plummeting. This is why CNN's ratings are plummeting, because you cannot tell me that all you are trying to say that belittling what happened to this innocent white girl, and trying to say that people that are noticing this pattern, that a repeat offender that should be locked up for life is being let out on the street 14 times, and you're trying to gaslight people and tell them that they are wrong for noticing a pattern in these democratic states. There is one rule for black people and another rule for white people. It doesn't make any sense. And sitting there with a straight face is very, very demonic. These black liberals are at the bottom barrel of people in this country, because they always make a case for they defend the indefensible. A young girl lost her life just because of wokeness, because of woke policies, because of democratic policies by Democrats in these democratic states. It doesn't make any sense. When people say around the blacks don't relax, this is why they are saying it. It's not because they hate black people, but they've noticed a certain pattern. How can you be 13% of the population? There are 171 million more more white people in this country, in United States of America, and there are black people. But still, somehow, 13% of this population, a minute percentage of the population, find a way to commit majority of the violent crimes. If this was the other way around, cities would have been burning. Everything. And mainstream media is trying to cover this. Thing happened on 22nd of August. Mainstream media tried to cover this thing just because it doesn't fit their stereotype. It doesn't fit their narrative of white people hating on black people or white people killing black people. If there was somebody like Daniel Penny on that trend, this wouldn't have happened. It's very, very annoying, seeing a young girl losing her life in just a gruesome way, and people were around. The mistake she made was just sitting around a black person, and that's the mistake she made. You call me racist all you want, but this is something we need to tackle. And because why am I interested? Obviously, America is the biggest country in the world. Their news makes headline everywhere. But I'm a black person. I am a black person, and this is making us look bad in front of everybody. It's making us look bad. It paints all black people as being violent because of reputations and this constant need of people being violent unnecessarily. So 5% of the population committing majority of the violent crimes, that is black men. It is unacceptable. It is very, very unacceptable. So I pray for the happy repose of this innocent girl, and people are calling for the death penalty, which is right. North Carolina, I actually decide North Carolina has a death penalty in their constitution. So I want this guy shouldn't spend a day on taxpayers' money. Black people should look inwards. Black people should look into their community. This is becoming a repeating occurrence in the black community, and it is totally unacceptable. That's all I'm going to say about that. So make sure you like, subscribe, do all the fun things, turn on post notifications so you'll be notified anytime I drop on that video. Until next time, see you.